balance.
I've got Ezekiel for you. You ready?
Yeah, Ezekiel. Yeah.
Ezekiel 9 and verse 4. And Yahweh said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that are done in the midst thereof.
Right.
And unto the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near upon any man upon whom the mark is.
Right, stop there.
Salakia.
Yeah, because it says read that bottom part again. It says have no pity.
Yet slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, but come not near upon any man whom the mark is. So I've got to read up Salakia. And into the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity.
Yeah.
Salakia.
So the angel said that's what read it again, Baba, because Salakia, man.
That's all right.
My mind is
Ezekiel 9 and verse 5. And to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity.
Yeah, these were angels, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, these were angels that had one thing on their mind was to bring judgments on the wicked of our own people. It said, slay and spare not, young or old, and feel no pity, man. Yeah, is it Predator 1? When the Predator came, John Connor was explaining to Sarah Connor the mission that the Predator...
Terminator 1.
Terminator. Salaki, I always say them to... Terminator 1. He was explaining to them that, boy, you can't mess with this Terminator. This angel was programmed, which was an angel.
It will not stop.
Right, which are the angels. They're programmed. When they're programmed, it says, Terminator is coming, can't be bargained with, can't be reasoned with, and will not stop ever.
Until you're dead.
Doesn't feel pity or emotion or fear, and it will not stop ever until you're there. Yeah, I remember I said I like that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of spirit that we gonna have.
Yep.
That's the spirit that Jehovah power and all the angels have. When they say, well, right now this is the time, that's why we were talking about waiting. That's why we talk about waiting.
Yep.
Because when the Most High brings judgment, it could end far outweigh anything that we can even come up with and think of.
Yep.
So that's how powerful patience is, man. When you leave things in the hands of that, and there's many examples. One of my favorite examples is nowadays. I ain't really got no favorite examples. King David, when he had them all in derision, all the Edomites them in derision, man.
Yep.
Samuel, Joshua, Elijah, Judges, Samson in the book of Judges. When a lot of the time he had to lay wait because it was a fugitive. He had to lay wait, and one time he had to lay wait in a brothel house until morning. You see, the waiting is a very big part of this truth, man, and we're learning that as we're getting a bit more understanding. There's times when bring out the precept in Ecclesiastes.
To everything there is a time and a season. Can't.
Sure.
Ecclesiastes 3, I believe.
Yeah, 3.
Ecclesiastes 3 from verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time, and to every purpose under the heaven. Time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal, and a time to break down, and a time to build up.
Right. Time for everything, man. A time to kill, a time to break down, a time to build up. And we're learning that it's all, this program, this movie is getting more dramatic, but it's not our movie. We're just playing our position, and we've got to understand the bigger picture, that the Most High has given us our little role, which is it makes up of the whole of the movie. And all we've got to do is stay in that lane, stay in your lane, until if the Most High says, which all you got to do is just listen to what the Most High's guidance and direction is.
That's right.
And that takes humility, that takes patience, and it's not to say that we've got it all sus, because the Most High is giving us knowledge and wisdom, and we're growing in the spirit through time. We're growing over time, and we're getting
Refined.
more and more refined, and it's all part of this the Most High's movie. I've got a precept in Jeremiah 8. Jeremiah 8. No, I don't want to bring that one. Yeah. 1 Peter 4 and 12. 1 Peter 4 and 12.
Can't. First Peter chapter 4 verse 12, and it says, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings.
Yeah. Yes, so stop there, man. We're supposed to be glad that when what we're going through, we have someone else there who showed us how to do it.
Yeah.
More effectively, in an effective way, the blueprint. And we're co-hearers with Yahushua himself, with Yahushua, I should say, himself. So that's why it says there, think not it a strange thing concerning the fiery trials which we are tried. And we're cognitive to when we're dealing with these people in this kingdom.
Can't.
Sometimes demons jump on these people. Yeah, and through the spirit, I'm talking through the spirit. Sometimes you just got to be cognitive of, like I said in the shop the other day. Woman just one time I was in the place. This is before I was in the truth. But as I say, we're learning, man. And a woman, it was a queue in the post office, and a woman, I was there. There was a little gap there. The woman just went. She just stood right there, and I'm behind.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, what? I said to her, what? Am I invisible or something?
Yeah.
She said, what? And another lady over there, looked like a Jake, started laughing. I said, am I invisible? The woman, it looked like she may have believed that she didn't see me or something,
Yeah.
She didn't actually see me. The demons could have just put a little veil over her eyes or something.
It's funny. It's
Go on.
funny you say that, because I've got a similar short testimony. I was waiting at a post office one day. I got there early because they usually open at 9 a.m. or whatever. I wanted to get the package out as soon as possible. I'm standing out the side of the shop waiting for it to open. An Edomite guy done the exact same thing. I'm standing here, where the shutter's going to open. I'm waiting. He comes and stands right in front of me. I'm thinking, what the fuck? Now, I was patient. I thought, it's like Unilever. I was patient. I thought, what? And before I even said anything, then he walked off a bit and he went and smoked a cigarette. And then instead of coming and standing behind me, as he should have, he went and stood at the other side of the door as if he was going to queue somewhere else. I thought, you know what, man, this is all... You can see the spirit of Edomites, man. They don't want to... There's no hiding it. Esau hates Jake. There's enmity there. And it's just shown through his actions. Because I'm thinking, what? The right thing to do would be like, okay, I see you're here. Stand behind me.
He rather than apologise and go behind you, he couldn't swallow his pride.
Yeah.
Who are you? You're beneath me. But that's his attitude.
That was his attitude, and the funny thing is that I didn't even get angry at it.
Yeah.
Usually I'd be like, what the fuck, man, what's wrong with you or something, but I just thought, you're Esau, man, you're going into slavery anyway, so.
That's right, but rejoice in as much as ye are partakers of Yahushua. He had to go deal with it. I mean, that's just sheer ignorance.
Yeah.
That's sheer ignorance. But sometimes we can see through it's more than ignorance. It's like people being malicious.
That's
and
right.
That's the thing that, but you know what? It says, suffering that which the glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. So yeah, you're taking a little hill. They're small, man.
Yeah.
In comparison with what we're going to be getting.
Exactly.
And like I say, really, the way I process it now, them little L's, what we used to call L's, are really they're W's. They're going to be turned into W's.
That's right. If I might also say,
in the spirit.
Yeah. And sometimes it might be the spirit of the Most High that makes someone come up and do something to offend the Lord. Because remember it says, inasmuch as you've done it to these little ones, you've done it unto me. So while these Edomites might think, oh well, I'm just going to stand in front of him because he didn't matter or whatever, they're actually doing it to the Lord.
Right.
So there's going to be a judgment for that.
I'm going to end off here.
Come on.
1 Peter 4, jump down to 14, says, if ye be reproached for the name of Yahweh thy power, happy are ye, for the spirit of the glory of Yahweh resteth upon you on their part. On their part, he is evil spoken of, but on your part, he is glorified.
Yep, that's right.
That's it, bro.
All right. So yeah, I'll just read back because there's a little bit more in this Peter scripture that you asked me to get you. It's 1 Peter 4 from verse 13. It says, but rejoice, inasmuch as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. If ye be reproached for the name of Hamashiach, happy are ye. Right? For the spirit of glory and of the Most High resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. Salakia. That's what you just read, but I thought you only read up to 13.
Yeah, the Most High wants it out again, man. That's good. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so yeah, be happy when people talk shit about you for the sake of this truth, man, because here's a funny thing, man. Here's a funny thing. You can think that you're actually getting at someone if you're talking shit about them, but really, if the person's in the truth and they're pushing the word as they're supposed to be doing, and they're of the hopeful elect, if you talk shit about that person, you're actually heaping blessings upon that person's head.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't really do anything against the truth, but for the truth. Even if you think that you're going to slander this person or talk shit about that person, blah, 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 all good and well, but if this is the thing, many are called, but few are chosen. So you're going to have people that are called into this thing, but if you're called and you're not chosen, well, then you're not chosen. But if you're called and you're chosen, then you're chosen. So basically, someone who's called and who is not chosen could speak all the shit under the sun about someone who is called and chosen, but then they'd end up being a loser. Because you can't do anything against the elect, because the elect were predestined from the foundation of the earth. So it's just like when Balak tried to get Balaam to curse us Israelites, or let me get that one.
Yeah, in Numbers.
Because this is the thing, man, things written aforetime are written for our learning. And if you were cognizant of these things, or if people were genuinely cognizant of these things, they'd understand how the game works. Because I'm going to break this down. As the brother was going into, you were talking about squash. You know, you control the tees, what you said, right?
Yeah.
That's a principle of the game which enables you to play better. And any game or any sport has a set of rules which allow you to be better at the game. Now, the person who understands the rules of the game the best is usually the person who wins.
Yeah.
For example, Tiger Woods, when he's playing golf, he understands how to hit the ball a certain way to get a certain type of result consistently. He's able to do that in these tournaments, and he beats these other players. Just like, if you go back to tennis, Pete Sampras,
Yeah.
he had a formula of playing. He understood certain things about the game that you're not going to learn if you're just playing in some low-level club.
Yeah.
He understood the game to a point where he was able to be a consistent winner and win a lot of, what do they call them, tournaments, opens.
Yeah.
It's like that with any sport. You could take Lewis Hamilton in Formula One, for example. But the point I'm making is that the person who understands the rules of the game the best is usually the person who wins.
And can implement the plan.
Exactly. And that also applies to this truth, because this truth is bound and based upon laws, statutes and commandments and principles. So therefore, if you understand the laws, statutes and commandments and the principles that are being taught through these scriptures, you're going to be able to better apply them than someone who doesn't, if that makes sense. And the person who doesn't, the Most High is not going to reward that person, because the Most High is a power of knowledge. You see what I'm saying? So knowledge is very important in this truth, and you can't be ignorant of the principles that are outlined in order to make us better men. If you ignore those principles, then you're no longer considered, as the scriptures say, the Most High dealeth not with you as sons, but as bastards. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to Balak. Let's get that. Right. So Numbers 22, I believe. Right, this is Numbers chapter 22. Right, so let's start from Numbers 22. Just trying to find where it is, okay? It says, And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side by the Jordan, by Jericho. And Balak the son of Zippor saw all that Israel had done unto the Amorites. And Moab was sore afraid of the people, because they were many, and Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. So let's get back into the context of this time. At this time, we had just recently been delivered from Egypt through the Exodus, where Moses passed the Gulf of Suez and we went through on dry land, and also we were being led by the chariots. And Pharaoh and his armies and his horsemen had tried to come after us, but the Most High brought judgment on them by making them get drowned in the sea. And that's beautiful, because if you're into this type of thing, you can actually go on Google and you can search for broken chariot wheels and stuff at the bottom of the Red Sea, Gulf of Suez, and you'll see there's literally broken chariot wheels and parts of chariots still on the bottom of the sea, which we don't need to see these things because we believe through faith. The scriptures say faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. So we believe through faith, but sometimes it is good to do a little bit of research and you can see these places. For example, you can look up Mount Sinai, you can look up Sodom and Gomorrah, you can look up, Noah's Ark, what's that, on Mount Ararat. You can look some of these things up and you can find some edifying information or even topics for lesson lessons to do on that. But getting back to what I was saying, so Moab was sore afraid when they saw the Israelites, because they knew what happened to the Egyptians, because the Egyptians was a great empire at that time. The land of Egypt was great. So it says, and Moab was sore afraid of the people because there were many, and Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. Now Moab said unto the elders of Midian, now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak the son of Zippor was king of the Moabites at that time. And he sent messengers therefore unto Balaam the son of Beor of Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of their land. For what that he whom thou is blessed, and him whom thou curse is cursed. So basically, this king, what was his name? Balak, the king of the Moabites, he wanted Balaam to come and curse us Israelites because he saw us and he was afraid because of the number of us and that we looked mighty, especially coming out of Egypt the way we did in the Exodus. So he's basically saying, look man, whoever you curse is going to be cursed, and whoever you bless is going to be blessed. So this arsehole thought that he could put a curse on us, but the curses against us don't really work, because Esau's trying to put the curses against the elect don't work. There's no enchantment against Israel. But we know that a large majority of our people aren't considered as the Israel of the Most High at the moment, because there's a certain remnant that the Most High is dealing with, which is the elect and the 1/3. But all the other Israelites, they aren't behaving like Israelites now, because they're still in the world and they're going to be destroyed on this side and come back in the kingdom as real Israelites in their right mind, knowing the laws, statutes and commandments, and knowing their power, which is Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, which is to say Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai, Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai being the son of Yahweh the Most High, the one that the world didn't calls Jesus Christ. So I want to jump back a bit, because this guy's talking about cursing Israel. But if we go back to Genesis 27, it says this, right? It says, Genesis 27 and 26, and his father Isaac said unto him, come near now and kiss me, my son. And this is when Jacob was before his father Isaac, who was Yahweh Shai in the reincarnation, if you can receive it. And it says, and he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and he blessed him, and he said, see, the smell of my son is the smell of the field, which Yahweh hath blessed. Therefore the Most High give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let the people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Here's the point. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. Right? So everybody that tries to curse an elect member of the nation of Israel, they're really putting a curse upon themselves. You know, because it's a cursed be he that curseth you, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. So this is what I'm saying. When you're dealing with, you've got to be very careful when you're dealing with potential men of the Lord, because you never know who you might be dealing with. So if you're someone who's thinking, well, you know, I'm just going to put curses up willy-nilly and not really think about what you're doing. If you try and curse the member of the elect, that same curse can come back on you. Because if you're not of the elect and you try and curse someone who is, it's not going to end well with you. Which is why it is quite. It's better to be mature in this thing.
Yeah.
You know, better to be mature in this truth and don't be hasty.
Right.
Don't be too quick to pass judgment on things that you might not understand. You know,
Yeah.
time is the revealer of all things.
Yeah.
And as we were just talking earlier on about that guy who calls himself polite, look, man, we didn't have to do anything to him. You know, we didn't have to do nothing. It was all on the Lord's time. I mean, we're just going about our business, doing our regular prophecies, so on and so forth. And look what happened. The Most High brings things out in its time. Like there's man's time and there's the Most High's time. You can't force the hand of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So if something's going to come out, don't worry, man. As I said before, fret not thyself because of evildoers, because evildoers are always going to get exposed. There's no hiding, man. This is why, if you understand the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you know these things. But if you don't understand the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you can end up getting caught up in something that what as I read about the king of Moab did, Balak, when he tried to get Balaam to curse us Israelites. What happened? Let's read it. So back in Numbers 22 and verse 5, and it says, he sent messengers therefore unto Balaam, son of Beor of Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail, and that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I wot that he whom thou blessest is blessed, and he whom thou hast cursed is cursed. And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand, and they came unto Balaam and spake unto him the words of Balak. And he said unto them, lodge here this night, and I will bring the word again, as Yahweh shall speak unto me. And the princes of Moab abode with Balaam. And when the Most High came unto Balaam and said, what men are these with thee? And Balaam said unto the Most High, Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, has sent unto me, saying, behold, there is a people come out of Egypt, which covereth the face of the earth. Come now, curse me them, peradventure I shall be able to overcome them and drive them out. And the Most High said unto Balaam, thou shalt not go with them, thou shalt not curse the people, for they are blessed. Boom. Right, I'm going to read that again because it's powerful, man. And the Most High said unto Balaam, thou shalt not go with them, thou shalt not curse the people, for they are blessed. And Balaam rose up in the morning and said unto the princes of Balak, get you into the land, for Yahweh refuseth to give me leave to go with you. And the princes of Moab rose up, and they went unto Balak and said, Balaam refuseth to come with us. And Balak sent yet again princes more, and they more honourable than they. And they came to Balaam and said unto him, thus saith Balak, son of Zippor, let nothing, I pray thee, hinder thee from coming unto me, for I will promote thee unto very great honour, and I will do whatsoever thou sayest unto me. Come therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people. So basically Balaam, he was like, you know what, man, the Most High said to me, I can't curse these people because they're blessed. I don't want nothing to do with this, right? So basically, it's like one of them type of situations where someone's trying to get you to do something wicked, and you're like, you know what, man, I don't want to do nothing. I ain't down with that. So you try to step back, but guess what? Balak sent more nobles, even greater than the ones he sent before, and they were still trying to entice him to do this wickedness. So they're offering him all these kind of worldly things. And what did Matthew 16:26 say? Let me get it, Matthew 16:26. See, because there's nothing new under the sun. Matthew 16:26. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
Right.
Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? So there's nothing new under the sun. They try to get him with these, expensive gifts and telling him, hey, look, man, whatever you ask of me, the king, I'll give it to you. So he could have had all the worldly riches that his heart could have desired, all the women, all the expensive, nice garments, all the gold. He could have had all that, right? If he was to go against the will of the Most High and curse the people, which is essentially the same as selling your soul, because you're selling your soul for worldly gain and profit. You got a precept?
Yeah, I got
Bring it
one. Sirach 11:5 says, many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of have worn the crown.
That's right. Do you want to just speak on that a bit?
Yeah, you got, it says, many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of has worn the crown. Many mighty men have been greatly disgraced, and the honorable delivered unto other men's hands. So it basically is a reversal what took place. Balak didn't want to curse Israel.
Balaam didn't want to curse.
Balaam.
Yeah.
Balaam was encouraged by Balak, yeah?
Yeah.
To
Balak
encourage.
was the king.
Right. So, right, which was a wise. He made it. The spirit was on him, dealing with him, make him understand that these people are the people of the Most High. But it says, many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was not thought of have worn the crown. So we're as they call GMS, the bums. We're not thought of as anything.
Yep.
But we know through the Spirit, saying it humbly, but it's the 100% truth according to the Scriptures. All we've got to do is continue doing what we're doing and following our role model, Yahushua.
That's right.
He was looked down on, and he was despised as well.
Yep, it's a very good point, because Yahushua was considered the stone that they cast away, but he ended up becoming the chief headstone of the corner. And that's what do they call that stone? When they're doing buildings, that's the cornerstone of the building.
Cornerstone,
that's the most important stone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they thought they could, curse Yahushua and say, oh, you got a demon on you. They said he have evil spirits on him, and they said the same about John the Baptist. So it's nothing new under the sun. But let me read on. It says, verse 20, Numbers 22:17. For I will promote thee even unto very great honour, and I will do whatsoever thou sayest unto me. Come therefore, I pray thee, and curse me this people. And Balaam answered and said unto the servants of Balak, if Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of Yahweh, my power, to do less or more. Now therefore I pray you, tarry also here this night, that I may know what Yahweh will say unto me more. And the Most High came unto Balaam at night and said unto him, if the men come to call thee, rise up and go with them. But yet the word which I shall say unto thee, that shalt thou do. And Balaam rose up in the morning and saddled his ass and went with the princes of Moab. And the Most High's anger was kindled because he went. The angel of Yahweh stood in the way for an adversary against him. Now he was riding upon his ass, and two servants were with him. And the ass saw the angel of Yahweh standing in the way with his sword drawn in his hand. And the ass turned aside out of the way and went into the field. And Balaam smote the ass to turn her into the way. But the angel of Yahweh stood in the path of the vineyards, a wall being on this side and a wall on that side. So basically, he was riding the horse, or ass, is it horse, yeah? Riding the horse. And the horse saw the angel and it turned aside. So Balaam was smiting the horse to try and get it to turn back the right way. But the horse had seen the angel with a sword in its hand. So the angel was ready to slay, right? And it says, and the ass saw the angel of Yahweh standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand. And the ass turned aside out of the way and went into the field. And Balaam smote the ass to turn her into the way. But the angel of Yahweh stood in the path of the vineyards, a wall being on this side and a wall being on that side. And when the ass saw the angel of Yahweh, she thrust herself into the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall, and he smote her again. And the angel of Yahweh went further and stood in a narrow place where there was no way to turn either to the right hand or to the left. And when the ass saw the angel of Yahweh, she fell down under Balaam, and Balaam's anger was kindled, and he smote the ass with a staff. Now this is very spiritual, because this goes to show you that animals can see things that sometimes we humans can't see. For example, some animals can see demons, and some animals can see angels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's quite spiritual, because whenever we're teaching, we always have these animals running up, you know, coming around wanting to be part of this thing. It's because they see the spiritual thing. They see that this is a spiritual thing. And the scriptures do say, the angel of the Lord encampeth around those that fear him. Yeah? So when we're out here and we're holding a camp, the angels are around us, man, and they're protecting us. Likewise, the scriptures say, Yahushua said himself, where two or three are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. So Yahushua is part of this ministry when we're teaching. Not just here where we're teaching in London, but other parts of London where the other camps are, or even other parts of the world. The Spirit of the Most High, Yahushua, is with these camps, you know. So animals can see spirits.
Yeah.
So reading on, and it says, you was in Numbers, wasn't I? Yeah. And the angel of the Yahweh went further and stood in a narrow place where there was no way to turn either to the left or to the right. And when the ass saw the angel of Yahweh, she fell down under Balaam, and Balaam's anger was kindled, and he smote the ass with a staff. And Yahweh openeth the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam, what have I done unto thee, that thou hast smitten me these 3 times? So Balaam's ass started that sounds rude, but I'm saying it. Balaam's ass started speaking to him. You know, if you can get over the stupid joke in that. The ass, meaning the horse type creature, started speaking to Balaam. And I remember when I was a little boy, there used to be this show that they had back in the day before I was born. It used to come on TV, it was in black and white. I think it was called Mr. Ed, the talking horse. I don't know if any of you remember that show because it's very old. But basically it was a show about a horse that was talking. I think his name was Mr. Ed. Well, where did they get that from? The scriptures. The horse started talking to the ass started talking to Balaam. So there's nothing new under the sun, as I said before, and you'd be surprised at the amount of things that you see and you don't even know that. Hang on a minute, that goes back to the scriptures. So it says, the ass started talking to him and said, verse 28, Numbers 22:28, and Yahweh openeth the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam, what have I done unto thee, that thou hast smitten me these 3 times? And Balaam said unto the ass, because thou hast mocked me, I would there were a sword in my hand, for I would kill thee. And the ass said unto Balaam, am I not thine ass, upon which thou hast ridden ever since I was thine unto this day? Was I ever wont to do so unto thee? And he said, nay. Then Yahweh openeth the eyes of Balaam, and he saw the angel of Yahweh standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand, and he bowed his head and fell flat upon his face. Now that's powerful, man. That's powerful, man. Yahweh openeth the eyes of Balaam, and he literally saw the angel standing there with the sword drawn, ready to slay. How terrifying a sight do you think that must be? Terrifying sight, man. That's why in this truth, you've always got to be mindful about how you're walking, man. You can't be walking with all this excessive pride and, you know, thinking that you could talk shit and get away with it and that nobody's going to see you or anything's going to come of it, because there might be an angel standing right behind you with its sword drawn, just waiting for the command from Yahweh himself to look, slay this man, put this guy to death, or this woman, if she come up talking shit, put her to death. And now we see these judgments happening day after day. But the trouble with this world is that, for example, if you're watching BBC News or Sky News or whatever, they'll tell you, okay, this person had a car crash and 3 people died in the car. Or they might tell you there was like an earthquake in Haiti and 2,000 people are dead. But what they're not telling you is that, look man, this is the judgment coming straight down from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and that's